"Hey England, fight me," which is exactly what was said by the Dutch going on at this time period. Okay, so we're going to talk about the Anglo-Dutch Wars going on from about 1652 to 1674 to kind of put you in that time period so you know what is going on. England and the Dutch, okay, the Netherlands, are not exactly getting along. But this is kind of weird because these two should be friends. Okay, these two countries should be allies. Now, stop and think to yourself for a second. Why might the Dutch and the English be friends? Okay, they're both countries in Europe. They're pretty close to one another. But they have one thing in common, and that is that they are both Protestant countries. Okay, remember at this time period, there's a huge divide going on in Europe between Catholics and Protestants, okay, where the Catholics are doing their one thing and the Protestants are doing their own thing. And the Protestants are kind of unified together when it comes to being opposed to the Catholics. So you got two Protestant countries that should be unified together against their common enemy of the Catholics countries. However, they're not. They're fighting with one another. And that is simply because these two countries both want control over the exact same trade route. And they can't get that. And that's causing a number of problems going on right this. Okay. The English, however, as you can see in this glorious meme, are simply not amused. Okay. You got the Queen over there is like, bro, go away. I'm not part of this. This is dumb. I'm going to defeat you. And the Dutch are like, no, you ain't. We're going to keep going. And this is where it gets going. Awesome. Okay, so first and foremost, it is important to understand that economically speaking, the Dutch have a huge advantage. Why? Because they have way more money. They control more territory that's prosperous compared to what the English are controlling. Okay? The English control basically North America, the current day United States and parts of Canada, compared to the Dutch having the Spice Islands, the East Indies, where there's a lot more money to be made. And the Dutch have more money. When you have more money, it's easier for you to fight a war because you can continue to pay for things. So economically speaking, the Dutch have a huge advantage over the English. However, geographically speaking, the English have a large advantage. Okay, and if you look at this map, I'd like you to think about why the English might have a geographic advantage over the Dutch. Okay, the Dutch, where it says Holland right there, the Netherlands, if you look at that giant star, okay, you can see that they're kind of boxed in. They have Germany and Belgium down below. These two countries aren't involved in this conflict really at all. They got their own thing going on. And you got England up there. Okay, England's an island, but England controls the North Sea and they control that portion of the Atlantic Ocean, meaning if Holland and the Netherlands wants to get out, it's very, very challenging for them to get out. So ultimately, this is going to lead to their defeat. Okay, this is going to allow for the English to defeat the Dutch. And now the English, after this, are going to become a world power. This is something that had not previously happened before. It's going to allow England to become the world player that it's ultimately going to be when it controls roughly over half of the world at this coming up very shortly as a result primarily of this war. Okay, this is kind of when the Dutch get knocked down for the final time and really have not been able to regain their power they had even up to this day.